It was me all along. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Soccer's Overtime, your weekly look inside the San Diego Soccers and the Major Arena Soccer League. I'm Craig Elston, joined as always by Tony Sanchez from SanDiego.Futbol. What's going on, Tony?
Well, I'm very excited to see some winning Soccers happen this last weekend. I'm excited to see what's going to happen after this holiday break as we welcome them home as well. But my soccer is coming up. I'm excited for this.
We bring you Season 8, Episode 6 of Soccer's Overtime, Striking Back. They struck first, we struck back. Going to spoil our home opener, we're going to spoil yours. How about that? Turnabout's fair play. And we're here to talk about it with you. We are live on YouTube on SanDiego.Futbol. Thank you to everybody who is there right off the top. We are, of course, recorded on podcast wherever you may happen to be listening. Thanks for checking us out. What's going on the show tonight? Well, the Soccers went on the road on Friday, came back with all 3 points against Empire. We've got the highlights. We've got the full report. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we've got a special guest. Sebastian Mendez will join us at 6:30. He'll tell us about the start of his second season in San Diego, thoughts on the win, thoughts on getting his guy back, Luis Morales, back in the lineup. Ask him about that and more. Then we'll get to MASL news, which had some crazy results, to be sure, including Baltimore going to Tacoma and getting 0 out of 6 points. Kansas City lost to Milwaukee on the road, won on the road. Milwaukee won, then lost to St. Louis. And in between, if you had week 3 on your parlay card for Derek Huffman and Stefan Mijatovic to get into red card suspension situations, please take your ticket to the window you have won a prize. We'll talk about it in MASL news. In soccer's news, we'll head into the holiday break. We'll look to 2 key home games coming up. It's all happening right here, right now on Soccer's Overtime, Season 8, Episode 6. Thanks to everyone for being here. If you happen to be watching us in the live audience, please hit that thumbs up button. If you like what you're seeing, we really appreciate it. If you like the fact that there is this show, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button so that you'll be up to date. You'll find out every time that we do go live. Also, if you're listening to us on podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever, if you can offer us that 5-star rating, quick written review, all of those things, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. All right, on with the show. So I guess you have to start with lineup changes for the San Diego Sockers, Tony. And the first, and maybe I guess you'd say the biggest based on the match result, was Leonardo de Oliveira coming back. Leo, the pass master, finals MVP of the COVID season, had been out with a lower body injury. He came back. He's not probably all the way back to his 100% match fitness, but there's just no question the mind of Leo and the skill set of Leo is invaluable to this club. And while you maybe didn't realize it as much while he was gone, Tony, once you see him back, boy, it's clear as day.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about looking at the lineup of Sockers that were unavailable and just really which is the name that's going to unlock this San Diego Sockers team and essentially wake them up. And, you know, we were talking about maybe Luis Morales, but Leonardo de Oliveira, you don't really necessarily think of that fire starter because of maybe his play style, but that's exactly what he is. He takes things down to a level. And whenever he has the ball, time just slows down for everybody on the pitch. He assesses, and by the time a ball is already landed where he wants it to be, the defense isn't going to be able to react. I don't care how fit, how young a defense and a team is like Empire has, but when you have somebody who's playing at a different rhythm, it's almost a half step slower yet faster than everybody else. It's just that Brazilian magic that he has is incredible, and it was really fun to see him be able to come back and enjoy it. That's one of the players that I love seeing play the game because he enjoys it and he loves what he does and he expresses himself with his art on the pitch, on the floor.
Then the other, of course, huge return was Luis Morales, who was back at practice this week and we heard would be available for selection on Friday. And then there he was. And of course, he scored a goal and had multiple other chances. One of the plays where he drew a foul was the one that led to the first goal on a set piece. And Morales, you know, whatever it was between himself, the club, there was no ill will. There were no suspensions. There was no, you know, absent without leave situation. It was a circumstance that I think both sides knew and understood, even though they weren't happy. Both sides understood, and the Sockers flew in Luis Morales, you know, and it at least appears to be San Diego acquiescing to what Luis was asking for to be able to play for the club. And tell you what, it makes a big difference, man. It makes a big difference to have someone that young and powerful and dangerous that always has to be the consideration of the top defender of the other team.
Yeah, he just adds an extra layer of enthusiasm out there. And like we're going to talk to hopefully with Sebastian too, it's that chemistry that was built, right? He already has a year under his belt with the San Diego Sockers, so he sort of knows where to be in those spots. Yeah, maybe at some times he goes to business for himself in a way and just kind of goes and wants to take the world on. And he can because he has that ability to do it. Not every time, but it's impressive to see him just kind of plug and play into the San Diego Sockers the way he did. And the numbers speak for themselves. The result speaks for himself, right? Where does the Leonardo contribution start/end and Luis Morales' start/end? With these two elements together, the San Diego Sockers are able to get their first victory. And I think that's the biggest stat line that we need to go ahead and look at.
And in saying that, 2 of their important midfielders were out for this game. Gabriel Costa was out. Keiko Gontan out for a second game. Ben Raymond remains out in the back, which means Pacheco has to play in the back instead of playing in the midfield where he wants to play. So there was still a juggling of the lineup. It wasn't, the immaculate drawn up whiteboard first team lineup for the San Diego Sockers, but Leo and Luis certainly make a difference. And now we can roll in the highlights from a great crowd at Toyota Arena. Big crowd. Oh, we can see that later. Jeez. And look at that. Our guest, Sebastian Mendez, almost got the first goal of the match in the first 30 seconds, just missing off right post. San Diego would come up with that first goal. There's Seb also crashing the boards very early on. Soccer's really quite active and very much in control in the early going. There was Christo's first chance. Now, here's the first goal, and it came, and maybe we can just pause this for half a second. Absolutely perfect set piece execution. But what you don't see in Eddie Trujillo's highlight reel here, the play prior to this was Morales posting up pretty much where you see Craig right there with the ball. Morales posting up back to net, getting the ball, turning his defender, getting pulled on the jersey from behind, shooting the ball wide. Play continued. Eventually, there was a whistle along the way, and Phil Salvaggio threw his challenge flag. And he threw it at 0-0, 4:30 left in the first quarter, the type of risk-reward thing where you absolutely have to be right, and you almost kind of have to score even if you're right. Like, it's so early to make that call. And, of course, he was calling hoping for a blue card. He didn't get it, but he got a common foul. And that did allow the Sockers to keep their challenge. So that was big. It wasn't a loss. It led to this set piece, which led to this play. So, and probably again in the future, you'll hear me question Phil's choices of when he pulls that flag and how early in a game he might pull that flag. When you get it right and it leads to a set piece like this and a goal like this, hat tip to the head coach.
Yeah, 100%, right? We were asking for everybody's contribution and improvement from the first two games, and that was an area of focus that we highlighted during the broadcast in this show of saying, hey, let's go ahead and make sure to make some sound decisions with that challenge flag, because it is going to go ahead and lead to potentially a goal, a game, a decision, whether you're going to go ahead and go to overtime or win or whatever that may be. But very well done. And again, same thing, asking and doing what we've been saying. Hopefully they start putting things together. A set piece, a beautiful set piece, like you mentioned, Craig. Fantastic. This is vintage San Diego Sockers for sure. But not only that, you see that execution that the Sockers are known for. And overall, like it looks like classic Sockers in Ontario for sure.
And, there's Pereira's class. First touch passing exactly on target. But now, less than a minute later, and this has been, I'd say, the Sockers' bugaboo so far this season. Very, very quick concessions. Ball into the corner. Nobody there to help Chris, so he jumped out. And then just a 2v1 overload, and Fabian comes in and just gets a little roll on the near post. And just like that, 1-0 erased. We're back to 1-1.
Yeah, and if you're going to go two for two against somebody and have the firepower, that's fine. Chris, maybe could have added a little bit more on that clearance. It's an awkward way to go ahead and clear it. But the defense has to step up there as well. You can't let the ball bounce in that situation.
Second quarter really featured a lot of great goalkeeping. And you see Chris, very comfortable in his first start of the season. Winds up 760 save percentage. I believe he was 11 for 14 on the night. As always, he controls his area as well. And right there is a perfect example of that, charging forward to narrow the shooting angle. And then Brian, don't call me Jesse Orozco. Terrific over and over. And what you didn't see on that particular save was that he had come running from midfield to make the save. Another big save, one-handed, denying Childs, who remains pointless, goalless, no goals, no assists through 3 matches. Another one, just like over and over in the corner. Look, here we go again. Another one for Orozco. And in the final 40 seconds, Charlie a little bit wide on that one. And then the kick save on the rebound attempt. On to the third quarter, still 1-1. Things get a little chippy. Okay, Justin. That was reviewed, by the way. If you pause it real quick, that play was reviewed. That's where Obasi threw his flag. Nah.
You know, the guy that potentially actually got fouled, helping the guy after that didn't get fouled is funny. Like, Stinson goes down. He's like, all right, oh, may need to check on my mate. He may be actually hurt. No,
so, nice try. The match continues. Unbelievable save by Chris right there. Palmer got to run into that shot. That was full pace on that. It was probably 75 plus. And then you get toward, again, Nick in the corner. In this case, does not get the assist. Now, I think Empire might have actually given him an assist on this, in which case it's a 3-point game for Nick. Clearly, the ball was touched by the opposing team. Clearly. A controlled touch, not just a wacky rebound. So if it was me, sorry, Nick, I would say no assist on that play. I would say unassisted. It was originally announced as unassisted. I believe it was changed to a Pereira assist, in which case they're basically saying that there's no control on this play by Fabian. Pardon me, not Fabian. Whomever that was that just touched the ball. Regardless, it counts as the goal. It's Luis Morales, and it is a 2-1 lead, and the Sockers won't relinquish the lead the rest of the game. I did love how Nick used his corners to a lot greater effect in this match.
Yeah, exactly. It's just playing to the strengths of what you're doing, and I think that in the first game, Nick was trying to assimilate to the soccer style and just moving away from his own personal style. And I think the marriage of both things was going to make this team successful. And seeing Nick really kind of come into his own in the Sockers uniform once again is going back to what his bread and butter. And it's those corners and that body usage and being able to be selfless and, take the opportunities when they're presented to, as he did in the later game.
What you see on the highlights right there, and if you can just hit pause for just a second, because you don't see the aftermath of this, but it's a 7-minute penalty that Drew Ruggles takes in a 2-1 game with an after the whistle swing of his arm. In which case, if he makes contact, it's like he's automatically going to get suspended, red carded, whatnot. Instead, he gets the blue plus yellow and puts his team down, and he's one of the defenders on man down. And it's why when I wrote the game recap for this game, Tony, because this highlight reel then skips ahead to 10:40 left in the fourth quarter. So what you miss is the entire 2-minute penalty kill, where Sebastian Mendez stepped right into Drew Ruggles' spot where Drew would be normally on the PK. And he, along with Jesus Pacheco, were tremendous in diffusing the power play, and there weren't any great chances. Obviously, there were not, because Eddie didn't pull any save highlights from the power play. They did a tremendous job of killing. And then early in the fourth quarter, Ruggles is still in the sin bin, and now we get to the goal flurry for San Diego.
Yeah, you just got to keep your cool in those situations. You can't hope that you're going to have too many of those defensive performances by the youngsters. Great, they have that gear. That's good to know, but I think we're done finding out in those scenarios.
Something you haven't seen too often, Seb getting the chance to be on the top of the free kick. Something to ask him about when he comes on the show. And Childs used as the dummy right there. Childs does a reverse run to move the defense ever so slightly. You see it from up top. See how that runner on the left moved just ever so slightly, and the lane's open there. And then Charlie crushes it so hard. That view you're seeing, I'm not kidding you, Tony, that's pretty much the view I had for the whole game at Toyota Arena on purpose. I go up to the third deck there, and you can stand, because there's nobody up there. You can stand in the seats that are right next to a luxury suite that's closed and be right behind the goal And I call this my all 22 view. Although in this case, it's the all 12 view for the Sockers and the Strikers. You see up top, you see the formations, you see the patterns that are run. You can really tell when somebody is on time, on target, or off time. It's an incredible way to watch the game analytically. So just really cool that they happen to have this high home shot here to show you that that positioning really, really well. I mean, you see the hole. You're like, well, put it in that hole. Oh, Charlie Gonzalez is going to do it? Okay, bang. If there was a bullseye target in the back of the net, he would have hit the center of the bullseye. Incredible.
And to have the skill to be able to do that, right? Like we see here, like that's acreage of space for him to shoot and get that ball through. But to the average person, it's not. It really is. Even to a decent soccer player, that's still difficult to put it in that spot with that pace at that proximity. And these are satisfying for the attackers because you just froze the goalkeeper. And that's a great goalkeeper duo that's been showing you, too, that they are great shot stoppers. And to leave them frozen, that's wonderful to see.
Yeah. That was a sick goal. And it got the Sockers off and running. 3 goals in about 90 seconds. Here's where you really know that you love having Leo back. First of all, the touch, then the vision. Both things. Serta sends the long pass. Leo extends the leg, brings that down on one touch. Doesn't need 3 touches to gather himself, gather his balance, finally look up. No, he's already aware. He's got Nick Pereira crashing the crease. He's already aware and in control that he can lift that pass to Nick. And then Nick's just kind of a goal line bully here. Right. I mean, look at that. And then boop. One touch, smash. I'm just bigger than you. I will shoot my leg over the length of the distance of you. I mean, but that's class right there.
It's ridiculous because, again, the control isn't even to stop the momentum. It's the hook to be able to bring it back and just counter rotate that ball to take it away from the defender who's already crashing in. He just yanks it closer to his body and leaves it right where he needs to be. Boom. I see the run. Nick sees that he doesn't need to maybe lace it through. Hey, just tap it in. That's all you need to do.
Literally 9 seconds later, done. Taylor Bond sends his regrets. He will be on a future episode of Soccer's Overtime. The baby doesn't go to bed till 8 right now, he was telling me. So this is key daddy time right now, but we're going to line it up. And this literally off the field steal, sent forward. Charlie, Taylor, left-footed again. Another Oppo for Bondo. Oppo Bondo. Gotta love it. 5-1, 3 goals in a hurry. You feel like this one's over. However, it is technically not over. And that could have been 5-2. Empire will continue to scramble. Long lead pass. And then this is simply a mistake. Reach. You reach, I teach. As Michael Jordan said famously in the Nike ad. You reach, I teach. Drew reaches for a steal. He's stepped around, and the goal takes place. And 5-1 is 5-2. Okay, less than 8 minutes. But right here, instead of got flat-footed, stepped. Now, Leo does the exact same thing, okay? But if you think I'm picking on Drew, right there, Leo does the exact same thing and reaches and gets taught. And that is the release that gets the ball unguarded to the right side where Alami has enough time to compose a lyric to a song before he shoots the ball in. And it's right there. See, you reach, I teach. There it is. Send it over. Alami, I've got time. And smashes it. Now, 5-3. 5-3 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get a little worried.
Yeah.
6th attacker is constantly in play with Empire. But here's the one guy. You don't give the ball to Leo with a chance to shoot at empty net. He is the guy on this team that's going to make it every time. Like, Gutierrez, they miss him for that, but Leo is the guy that if he can get a steal around the yellow line, it's over. And honestly, Tony, I think the biggest difference between match one, between these two sides and this match, is that you have Leo and you have a guy who has that foot skill, that touch and accuracy to make this shot. I mean, he'll honestly make that shot like 8 out of 10 times and maybe more, maybe 18 out of 20. I don't know. But he gets it on target, and that kills everything for Ontario at that point. They know, see ya.
I love it. It's not even a high shot either where he gets this big angle. No, he's passing it through. It's a long through ball, and he's just, is that accurate with his foot and his passing, but it's that split second that he takes, right? We've seen it with the Soccers too, where they take that extra step to think about the pass. He's processing things so fast, Leo is, that when he gets the opportunity, he does look right, look left. I have options, but then he does a thing where he looks up. That moment where he looks up is where he decides, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and take it. And yeah, this might have been a end of game ceiling thing, but these opportunities with Empire specifically always come up in the first, second, third quarter. And this is where they need to go ahead and take advantage of it. He sees it, fancies himself. I'm just going to pass it through. Barely goes over the heads of the defenders, but it's such a great curve and a great shot. So yeah, seeing Leo, I want to see Leo at home. I haven't seen him really at home at Front Wave Arena do what Leo does. And it's been in spurts and because of injury, but that's one player that I'm very excited to see in person because I love the way that he plays.
The other big takeaway I had from my all 12 viewpoint was the level of discipline and connectedness and preparedness that the Soccers had for this game defensively. Justin Stinson got shut out again. That's 2 times in 2 matches for one of the best attacking midfielders in the game. Marco got his goal, and it feels Marco is at this point where it just feels like Marco gets his goal, but is he a factor the rest of the game? And he wasn't. He wasn't a major factor the rest of the game. The forwards for Ontario, for the most part, okay, Alami gets a goal, but they weren't the major factors that you had seen in the past. And I just really credited, and especially the young guys on the team, for stepping up, really giving the physical effort, all the defenders stepping up, giving that physical effort, being focused minute 1 to minute 60, not to let the tricky Empire attack, which is always trying to bait you with a guy over here and an overload there, and then shoot the goalkeeper down the wing and take advantage of where you are. I thought that they were really well prepared, well focused. You could tell. And when they play that way, that's huge. That's what you need to beat a team like the Strikers.
Yeah, it was a bounce back into form of what we're used to. And look, a 6-3, usually maybe even a game so tight, you're looking at a Empire Strikers. Really? You guys struggled that much? No, credit to Empire. They're a good, well-coached team. They're young. They will tire a lot of these teams else in the league out. But the Soccers were able to figure it out, at least in an away setting. Is it maybe that Toyota Arena's floor is a little quicker because of the surface of Front Wave is still new, right? I did see the ball move a little smoother, but that would also lend itself to be an advantage for Empire, which it wasn't. But now, again, you're satisfied with this win, yes. But are there things that you're looking at it, Craig? Like maybe, hey, good, we're moving and trending the right direction. Is there still areas where you're like, okay, we can improve here?
Well, I mean, you finally got a goal from a forward.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got his first goal, and Nick got an assist, and I guess I should double check before I keep talking about it. At one point, he was credited with a second assist in that game, and let's see if he still is. And then because I like our team getting stats, I'll never mention it again if it's true. And it is. So, yeah, absolutely. 2 assists for Nick Pereira, who was the dumb guy who did the recap and wrote it otherwise. Oh, yeah, that was me. But, Nick getting into the offense is huge. Craig hasn't scored yet. He needs to score. And Tavoy hasn't scored yet. I thought Tavoy's effort level was there in this game, but he continued to be off balance. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one that I was thinking of, Craig. You were mentioning, and salud. In terms of things I'm looking to improve, right? This is a moving and trending season, right? If I work with kids. Hey, if you misbehave one day, next day it's a new day, and you have another opportunity to go ahead and show me what you have and show me what you're improving on. And I think for right now, that's one that I'm kind of like, okay, Tavoy, like almost like I want to see that classic Tavoy.
The one thing I'm just really noticing, teams have figured out that you need to be physical with Tavoy, right? They've figured that out for a couple of years now. And then it becomes, what's your response? And you either need to be faster to spots or you need to be faster with the ball. And the one thing that I've seen, and I think he would agree if you gave him truth serum, the one thing that I have seen is him getting the ball and not being balanced. Not being in a balanced position where he can make a move because he has himself underneath himself and he has a center of gravity. I often seen him leaning. The ball's out in front of him, or he's bouncing and he's juggling it and he's needing 2 touches to get it. It's bouncing on him. It's up and down. You got to settle it down. All of those moments gives the defense the opportunity to be in position for the double team to come and to make it really hard to pass out of, because you want to make that pass out of the double team as the second guy is coming at you, not when they're both already there and everyone is rotated and adjusted. So I thought that Tavoy really put in a hardworking effort. Robert Palmer is one of the best defenders in the league, and he's had to face him twice so far. And Milwaukee's got some great guys in the back line as well. So, I feel like he hasn't had an easy chance yet, but that's the next thing for San Diego, because, you're almost getting to the point where you could just score with your midfielders. Like, you've got so much midfield talent between Charlie and Leo and Gabby and Morales and Costa. I mean, right there, those could be top scoring players on any team. So if the forwards wind up being just assist machines this year, as opposed to being goal scoring machines, and that's the way that this offense works, that's great. Whatever gets you to the win at the end of the day. But I'd say that's the one thing to look at is, you went into that game and it wasn't until the fourth quarter of game 3 that you got a goal from your forwards. And you're talking about 2 forwards in Craig Childs and Nick Pereira, at least, who have combined for over 500 MASL goals and over 800 lifetime goals. So, those are guys you want to see score goals.
Yeah.
Long story short, you don't want to see them goalless, because that's an issue for the team.
Yeah, and looking back at Tavoy's last couple of seasons too, we've seen different games and levels of Morgan as well. Like, we had the season where he really improved on the assists side of things, and maybe he was not scoring as much, but he was definitely contributing. The year before, he was contributing with goals. Now we're going to see what this means, and again, it's still very early on in the season to build that cohesion with Leo and Nicky out there. Like, those two together is something that, okay, great. They're on the floor in real games, in real time minutes for the first time in a while. That's starting to build and blossom, and beautiful. Like, when Leo brought that ball down, it's almost like he didn't even have to look to his left. He knew Pereira had to be there. Somebody had to be there, and somebody of his caliber is going to be able to finish. And that's what happened. So it's still very early on to build that chemistry, and it's exciting to see what they're going to keep working on here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's early days. It's 100% early days. So, you don't ever want to look at the first game of the Sockers and rule much of anything. As I've said, I've seen more subpar performances from game 1 for San Diego than I've seen sharp performances in my 17 years covering the club. I think they've probably been off 10 of the 17 times. and they've mostly uh, won some sloppy games, but sometimes some really crisp games, other times, some ugly wins. So game 3, big win under your belt, chance to get things rolling here for San Diego. Pretty exciting.
I'm looking forward to it because again, we still haven't seen the best version of San Diego, not even close. And looking at Craig too, I know Craig wants to score. He's been out there. He's been getting physical. He's been getting rowdy as well. And we're seeing some flashes of classic Craig as well. But I want to see him get on that score sheet here at home, especially. I know I was actually being asked, like, hey, is Craig Childs actually retiring? I'm like, yeah, like 100%. So get to see him while you can. So we got a couple people heading over just to see the great captain of captains do his thing here at Front Wave Arena.
And this Sockers club is going to get healthier. Gabi Costa, I saw him down on the floor before the game on Friday. I asked him what's what. He said that he had a little bit of a calf thing, that he probably shouldn't have played the Milwaukee game, but he did. And so it got just a tick worse. And with the 2-week holiday break that we're waltzing into right now, said, why not miss this game, miss this one game and be ready to go going forward. I think you could probably see on the 30th, you could probably see Costa back, Keiko back, and Felipe Gonzalez back. Felipe is back running and training with the team. We knew he was quite close. He's been a very physical member of the Super Sockers in our pregame shows. But to have him back, he can play defense. And I'll just say this without saying anything else. There's a trial player.
Ooh.
Coming to training.
Ooh. I mean, is there any hint? Is there any should we say any way we can, no? Can people guess? Is it just out of like complete left field?
No, I gotta be a good team employee and say until he's signed, until a player is signed, they're just, who were the players appearing in those Coachella Valley games, like Trialist 91?
Oh yeah, Trialist 91. You had guest players against Tijuana in the Cholos Baja Cup for San Diego FC. We've seen everything. So right now he's a grayed out just player in the back. I know social media is probably then joining and editing and making sure he's not on any of the footage that's shown here.
Yeah. Looks like we've got our guy now. Let's welcome him in. It's time for our special guest. He is a young man in his second season with the San Diego Sockers, 5th year in the Major Arena Soccer League, and is growing into an ever larger role with this club, including some huge two-way combo efforts in the last game, getting the assist on that big Charlie goal and some huge defense along the way. Let's welcome in our friend Sebastian Mendez on Soccer's Overtime. What's up, Sam?
Hello, guys. How's it going?
It's going well, brother. How are you?
Good. By the way, if you can speak up a little bit, because my phone, I really don't hear the microphone or whatnot. So if that would help. So
in English and Español, we'll do it. We'll volume it up here.
Okay. We can do both. I mean, I'm bilingual, so we can do both, man.
We could do both too, Sebastian. But most of our audience is English, though, so we'll stay there. Hey, let's just start with this. Tell us about the practice week. Tell us about the week you guys had preparing for Empire.
Well, first of all, Empire is a whole different team, and we knew that. And ever since last season, ever since Obasi came with that new style, we've been practicing it and stuff like that. But the last week after they beat us, I mean, we took it a whole different route towards the loss, and we started just pressuring them more. I realized that Phil wanted us to just pressure them more, not let them build out with Brian since he's really good with his feet. So yeah, man. Honestly, he just wanted us to pressure them more, not give them time to build out. So yeah, because they are really good at using the six attackers. So yeah.
No, they're great at that. But tell me, how happy were you con tu compadre Luis Morales coming back to the team? How happy were you with him coming back?
It felt like, I mean, it's deja vu. He came back and he did his thing like always. And I mean, yeah, we need him and stuff, but he's going through a lot of stuff right now. And honestly, I don't know if he's gonna continue or not. But I mean, that's soon to be known. So
Que le caiga, que le caiga.
We'll keep our eyes on that and hope for the best. I thought it was really important, Seb, on Friday, the way yourself and Jesus played defensively, the way you guys had your legs, your speed. You talked about it: pressure, focus, discipline in terms of where you were, your positions on the field. And I really thought it was important the way you guys took control of the game defensively and didn't give that speed advantage to Ontario.
yeah. So one thing also what Phil was telling us to like, don't just like go in like pressuring by yourself. Like always have someone, uh, always have the guy behind you give the word. Oh, okay, press or move here, move to the left, or like give your positioning. And a lot of our problem was defensively is just like we would always give up goals like just out of the blue, like, oh, somebody messed up, oh, goal. And I mean, this time, the second time around against the Empire, we finally stood our ground. And yeah, we defended really well. And I mean, give props to the guys, man. We all did our part. So
And you're coming back this year after having your first year here with the Sockers. But what is it like? How is it different? How comfortable are you now in your second year with the San Diego Sockers?
yes, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was tough in the beginning. It was just really when I can do my own thing. I'm really much of an attacking player, but Phil always told me to like, focus on both ends of the field, and obviously defense comes first, I think so now. And yeah, man, it really helped me out. I feel like I've grown a lot more as a player. So
So that defense is so important, and you're going to hear me praise you over and over when I watch you play great defense, Sebastian.
yes.
But I know you love to attack. And I
Yes.
think both Tony and I had a chuckle when you were kind of stepping in on the guy. I think it was against Milwaukee, little stutter step, taking
Yeah.
taking your move. That swagger that you
Yeah.
have on the attack. Where did you find that? Where did you get it?
I think I always had that, but I mean, like the thing was that it's my timing, when to do it. I mean, when to keep the ball, sub out. If like, cause if I even do my own thing, or and if I shoot and I miss, which happens a lot, it's a counterattack. So it's like, oh, now I gotta go the other way, and then I have to get the ball back, and then I still have to sub out. So I mean, Phil also told me like, yeah, go at them, but choose wisely. So yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is also, yeah, you shoot because you have to shoot, and then it's a counterattack, and you just put your head down and you just start running. You're so quick, you try
Yeah.
to make it all the
I
way
need to
back.
get that ball back so I can sub out.
And talking about swagger and just the different components of the Sockers, how important is it to have el brasileño, Leo? He's back.
El
How
Pai,
important is it?
man, oh my goodness. I've been asking him, hey, dude, I'm poking at him. I'm like, hey, when are you coming back? Like, I don't want to mess with him or like get in his head, rush him or anything, because he's definitely like one of the most important players in our team, since he's like one of the most veterans. I look up to all the veterans and try to make sure they're okay and stuff. Like just in general, like uh, on the field, off the field. We all check up on each other. And I think that's really important.
All right, Seb, where are you going for dinner right now? Where are you going for dinner? I assume you're. I'm just guessing you're going to dinner right now.
No,
Are we
no,
wrong?
I'm heading to. I'm finally heading to the house.
All right.
Yeah, sorry
I was,
about that.
No, I just wanted you to pick me up a burrito on the way if you could, but no, it's all good. No, hey, listen, we really thank you making some time and being on the road, making some time for us. And we appreciate it. The soccer fans watching really appreciate it. Real quick before we let you go, what are you doing for the holidays?
But it's very tough right now for me. I mean, hopefully another year, I'll just end up celebrating here with the guys and, just having some food and, be thankful. Be thankful because anything can happen. Always stay blessed. That's how I think. So.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate it. We'll let you go. Thanks as always. Great work on Friday, taking down the Strikers. And be well, stay healthy. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you real soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take it easy, Sebastian Mendez. I mean, I was.
Well, I mean, Craig was so impressed with Sebastian's go performance that probably did join him out for a. He probably did go out and join him for a burrito. Oh, you're back. No burrito for you.
I that's like the second time I've done that, where I was trying to go from a small window to a big window, and instead what I did was just completely press a button on the bar, on the toolbar, and just leave. So bad on me. No, what I was saying was I was actually impressed his signal held as long as it did.
Yes, that was honestly, yeah. He probably passed by a Starbucks or something that he connected barely, and the Wi-Fi was like, "Yes," just trying to drive away from it. But no, making it happen, I love it. Absolutely, I agree with Gabe. It was really cool to listen to a young man be able to sit there, listen, and understand. It's really incredible to see that at that level.
Well, and how about the credit to the boss man, Phil Salvaggio? Obviously, some really wise words in terms of finding those individual moments and motivations. And here's the thing you can do better, and here's the thing you can do more. That is the key to improvement, right? Is finding those moments on the training ground and being able to implement that in the match without having to think about it. And that's what I saw on Friday. So incredible stuff. I think it was way more the Wi-Fi situation.
Yeah.
I think the phone was fine, Marlisha. I think it was the driving around trying to hold a streaming signal. I've done it myself before. It usually fails. Like, it's eventually you turn the wrong turn and tower disconnect. So
just disappears from there. It's good seeing him also learn too. Like, it's good seeing a player learn, and this is a very young player where it's difficult, especially in indoor, to tell an offensive player, "Hey, you need to defend." And for him to say, "I understand the value of defending, and now defending comes first," that's for an offensive player, that's huge. Like, that's incredible.
It's true. Maybe his phone speakers are shot. Maybe he does need a new phone. I don't want to put it past him. Maybe that's a good Christmas gift that a veteran on the team could give a young Sebastian, but I'm just speaking things out loud. Okay. Thanks to Sebastian Mendez. Great stuff. Great work, as always. Let's head into MASL news. There's really not a lot of soccer's news. I told it to you, right? There's a player at trial. Hey. And healthy, unhealthy guys are getting healthy. So, that's the good soccer's news. We'll talk about the promotions at the end of the show. First, MASL news, looking at the weekend. We finally have everyone having played now that Tacoma has played. And the Stars started off with a back-to-back hosting the Baltimore Blast. When I first read it on the MASL schedule, I swear, and either I had some weird spot dyslexia and that reversed names vertically, or they had it written Blast at Tacoma, Tacoma at Blast. And I was like, they're not.
That would be impossible.
You'd think, but we're going to do Kansas City, San Diego back-to-back home and away later this year. And we're going to do Tacoma, I'm pretty sure, back-to-back home and away later this year. So I didn't think it was impossible. I thought it'd be absolutely crazy, and it was wrong. They were they were both at Accesso Showwear Center, and on Saturday, it was a 3-2 win for Tacoma with Michael Ramos scoring a late goal. Baltimore scoring early, but not very much, as you can tell, in a 3-2 game. Good legs for both teams, so much lower scoring game. Not a ton of elite goal scoring talent between these two teams right now. But still, hey, big win, Tacoma at home. Oh, well, they're playing the next day. Becomes a big game for Baltimore, right? Big game for Baltimore. Blast don't want to go coast to coast and come away with 0 points. So they've got to come out strong and take down Tacoma in game 2. And they very much did not do that. Tacoma wins this one 8-6. Tacoma scores 4 goals in the second quarter, 4 goals in the fourth quarter. I thought that might have been interesting in terms of Baltimore being an older team with the long change and the second day of a back-to-back, that's where Tacoma got all their goals, was in those second and fourth quarters, wearing down an older team and running them out. But overall, and I watched a decent part of the second game. I didn't get to watch the first game. I watched a decent part of the second game. Looked to me like Tacoma played their game and used their speed and used the assets that they have remaining, and it didn't really look like they missed too much of a beat. Luis Beretta picks up MASL Goalkeeper of the Week for his performance, winning the back-to-back. And, obviously Chris could have won for his performance Friday against Empire. But nonetheless, overall, Tacoma, 6 out of 6 points, doing everything they have to do. The team that I feel was almost universally picked to finish 8th is here to say, no, we want to make the playoffs.
And that's really good to see, especially with the parity of this league so far. No team is just free to take a day off, it seems. And that's, again, the competition aspect is going to be very good to see. And I mean, who was thinking Tacoma was going to come out guns a-blazing like that? Like that's really good for them and the health of the league. That's how I see this is if anybody can beat anybody, that just makes things exciting. And especially, look, I'm looking at the Soccer's record too. It seems like they're part of that too until proven otherwise. So they are part of that, part of this new movement, and being able to see the Stars do that without arguably their 2 biggest players they've had in a while, Pereira and Toth, no longer there, should signal maybe inspiration for what's to come. But again, very long season.
Well, along the lines of who would have thunk it, who would have thought that maybe Milwaukee for a minute looked like the best team in the league, because the Waves starting things off in Marcio's first season as head coach with 3 straight road games, and they go into Kansas City and pull a 9-6 win and go undefeated on blue turf to start the season.
Good stuff.
Right? How about it? +7 on blue turf, Milwaukee Wave. And we'll get to what happened in this game momentarily, but what happened in the game was Milwaukee winning and controlling, and Kansas City dropping points again. And they've dropped points this year. They've dropped more points than San Diego has. They've played more games as well, but a very convincing, exciting win. And Mario Alvarez gets Defender of the Week this week for Wave.
Yeah, and this is where the teams that you start projecting, they're going to go ahead and go and beat everybody. They played the Sockers out of their own building. That's scary. But then you have the 2 heavyweights in Kansas City and Wave face each other. Okay, you start to see the differences and the play styles and more footage on the way that they're going to approach all of these games as well.
Wave, though, had to play a back-to-back, and they went to St. Louis, and they lost in overtime. So they ripped a point out of the Family Arena, and they get 4 points and then 7 out of 9 on the opening road trip. But for the ambush, a much-needed win, and St. Louis can celebrate getting their first 2 points of the season. Overall, though, right now, I feel like any objective MASL power ranking has to have Milwaukee 1.
Yeah. Again, the Sockers need to bounce back. They're in the middle of their bounce back, but so far we've seen some good teams be able to take it. But yeah, I mean, look at the standings.
Well, yeah, look at Kansas City with, oh, wow, they're way out in front with 11 points to our 4. Hang on. 6 games played already for Kansas City. They've already played a quarter of their season, and they have picked up 11 out of, 18 possible points. They've dropped 7 points already this season. Milwaukee has dropped 2. Tacoma's dropped 0. So, right now they're perfect. And then the Sockers, of course, have dropped 5. 5? Yes. They have dropped 5, which is not ideal. But getting the win, exciting for San Diego. And, you continue down those standings, and right now St. Louis is now looking like you're 8. But Baltimore, 1 big win at home, right? Empire still to be determined. Utica has not looked particularly good so far, losing twice at home and getting thumped by Kansas City in their second game of the weekend. Once again, Xavier only played when it was a goalkeeper penalty. And he did give up a couple of goals and made 1 save. That's your update on X so far, but those are the standings so far. And it is going to be a very exciting season, to be sure. And if Tacoma's good, it's going to be a crazy season. So,
yeah. And again, it's only 8 teams, but that's, again, the margins are so slim, especially looking at those teams to be on the fringe. Those are going to be the dangerous teams because they're going to be fighting for their lives. If 1 or 2 kind of take it away and kind of are able to relax and bring down the tempos in those final matches, it's going to be hard to match the energy of somebody who's been clawing for that final spot.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. It will come to the last weekend. I almost would guarantee a playoff spot will probably be decided, and that's because you don't have zombie teams. When you have zombie teams that are dropping 3 points, 6 points every weekend, and just falling further and further and further behind, then it's this dumb game where it's how many did you get against Texas? How many did you get against Harrisburg? How many chances did you get to beat them? When everyone's playing and everyone's trying to win and play hard, pretty exciting, pretty fun. That's the look at the weekend of play. The play of the weekend was Christian Andreas and Derek Huffman getting tangled. And it wasn't just a one-way street. They both got into each other on a tackle. As they got into each other, Andreas absolutely threw his arm around the neck of Huffman and put him in a sort of headlock, which Derek shedded ingloriously by throwing Christian Andreas into the boards at Cable Dahmer Arena. And of course, he got a red card and got sent off. And then the league looked at it. And of course, Derek Huffman, and specifically Derek Huffman playing in Kansas City, where he has cursed out the fans, like screamed into mics, done everything. That is just a really common occurrence, is something happening with Derek Huffman in Kansas City or against Kansas City. And in this case, the league announced he got the immediate 1-game suspension for the red card. They added 4 more on top of that for a 5-game suspension for Derek Huffman. So Huff out, already missed Milwaukee's loss in St. Louis. He'll miss the next 4 beyond that. Probably that's it. They didn't write something into the release about him being sent to anger management, which they literally have done in previous Derek Huffman releases.
Yes.
Saying, well, he's going to take an anger management course. Same thing with the next guy that's about to come up. And it's just the same old story. Every year, there's going to be an incident that leads to a suspension for these players as long as they're in the league. Stefan Mijatovic, in the same disciplinary review, was found on video to be stepping on another player from the opposite team. In this case, that would have been a Wave player. And Mijatovic was dished a 1-game suspension. But the interesting part to me, Tony, was what was at the end of the press release that the MASL disciplinary committee issued today, because they issued the suspensions, but then they tacked on the bottom of it that the 2 players are now in a quote unquote zero tolerance situation for the remainder of the year.
Isn't it always zero tolerance? Shouldn't it always kind of begin at zero tolerance? Like, how much tolerance is okay?
I'll bring that up big again for everybody to read that, and I'll read through the bottom of it. Okay. The second and third paragraphs, right? First off, just saying, indoor soccer is physical. They recognize that actions that go beyond the normal physicality won't be tolerated as the league continues to grow. We want a higher standard professionalism with zero tolerance for conduct that violates these expectations. Okay, well, you say that, but here's 2 players who, like, year after year after year after year after year, have these incidents take place. To wit, the release now admits that both players are on probation.
Yeah.
Both players are currently on league probation, which was a significant factor in the final decision. The league office, in conjunction with the disciplinary committee, worked closely in reviewing and ruling on these matters. The league will not tolerate conduct outside of the normal physicality of play. Second time in 2 paragraphs, they say that. But here's the kicker. Effective immediately, following the completion of their suspensions, both players will be subject to a zero tolerance standard. Any further actions by either player that require disciplinary action could result in permanent disbarment from participation in the league.
Wow. I mean, a lot of redundancy in there, but there seems to be a final stop from what they're saying.
I get that it's a very difficult, tricky situation. And this is a small league, and these are guys who have been, are good players in the league. Both Huffman and Mijatovic are good players in the league. Both are the type of players, Mijatovic was picked for Team USA for the summer exhibition, right, for 4 Nations Cup. He plays well on teams he plays on because he's got an aggressiveness to him. Huffman plays well for the teams he plays on because he has an aggressiveness to him. And I will 100% say that if those plays happened in the 80s or the 90s, it'd be a blue card foul. It'd be a blue card foul. Not a red with a suspension, not a red with a suspension and a disciplinary committee and a zero tolerance zone and all of that. It would be a blue card foul. The game has changed. The NFL has changed. Trust me. Go watch the way quarterbacks used to get pummeled. Now, if you look at a quarterback wrong, like they were tempted to throw a flag when Phillip Rivers sacked himself on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like when he just kind of fell down that one time.
Yeah. Oh.
They were like, wait. Oh, no, he did it to himself. So my point is all sports change, and they're trying to take the hard physicality out of the sport. And some people who are watching, who are long-term indoor fans, may not like that. And you're completely within your rights to hold that opinion. The league wants to move in the direction that sports are moving, overall. They don't want that in the sport. They're not going to start promoting hockey fights. Yeah, absolutely. Ralph Black would have been kicked out of the league easy. He would have. The thing that I just can't help but chew on just a little bit is that when you already have repeat offenders who have already gone through the disciplinary committee many times, both of whom have been remanded to anger management and who remain on probation, like zero tolerance. So what were we at before? Right? Like, where were we before? We were at like some tolerance. We've got our eyes on you. And for Mijatovic, he gets one. So does that mean he shouldn't have gotten anything? But because of his probationary situation, he got one? I mean, what Derek did, absolutely is at least a couple games suspension. So I guess they doubled it. But as Eddie just asked in the chat, how many times does the line have to be crossed? Like, how many different lines, how many different crosses before you just say you can't play in this league? And I don't know that they're a better league for not having these guys. They're characters in the league. I know that. But when you're on, you got to be gentlemen off the field as well. And, some of the things that we've seen with Mijatovic over the years, including jumping on our bench with 2 feet, including chasing a Milwaukee player down the tunnel last year, with some accusations of things that were racially coded, ripping one of Drew's dreads, thank you, dreads in Florida and holding it around like, ha, ha, ha. That these are things that have happened in his career that I can just remember off the top of my head. So zero tolerance. Here's what I really don't like about that. I don't think it's fair to either player. How are they supposed to play the game?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to go out there and play hard for their team when now they know the league is looking for any excuse to ban them for life? How do they go hard into the corner to try and win a ball for their club? Mijatovic is a defender. How does he stay in between a physical forward? How does he defend Tavoy later in the season? 5 games in 6 games. How do you go into those moments as a player? How do you, as a coach, work with a player like that where they're now on this? And how do the refs handle a player like that? Now, are you going to call every little thing for Derek Huffman, who's a physical player who's playing target forward? Mijatovic, a physical player who's playing defender. There is expected to be contact. There's expected to be physicality. There's expected to be fouls and potentially blue cards. And yeah, here is the play in question, right? And boom. I mean, it's bad. It's bad at the end. Because when you say headlock, and I did say headlock, I mean, let's be clear. It wasn't blue bloods here, like it was just that's a moment. And that's a real moment of throwing a guy toward the boards head first. That's wrong. That's just wrong. Derek should know that's wrong. I think he knows that is wrong. But in a way, I'm sticking up for Derek Huffman right now and for Stefan Mijatovic. Either they should be suspended for real, serve that suspension, and if they are reinstated to the league, be reinstated. Or they shouldn't have to deal with this situation as it's being presented. Right now, it's play on eggshells. Guys, go out there, play for your team, but you better not foul anybody, because that could be the foul that leads to the review, that leads to the thing that, and of course, right now, if anybody on the disciplinary committee heard that or watched it on replay, they're like, Craig, that's not true. We're going to let him have a foul called against him. But on the mindset of the player, it's a very difficult situation to ask them to be good at their job when one of the key elements of what makes them good at their job is their edge and their physicality. And I mean, yes, I think it would be very simple to say, well, don't throw people at first into the boards. Don't step on somebody and push your weight down on them when they're prone on the field. Don't, chase someone down a tunnel. Like, don't do these things, but at the same time, I do think I feel like they at the same time did too much and not enough in this move. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could suspend somebody. You could suspend specifically Derek Hoffman for the entire season.
Yes.
For that move, for all the things that he's done year after year after year after year after year. You could have told Stefan, you're not welcome to sign in the league because we know what's coming. But here's the last part of this interpretation. I don't think it's fair for the player. I think it's difficult for the league. But if you actually thought that these players are just going to commit heavy acts, you're giving them each one more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a license to kill, essentially. And for a lack of a better term, but just license to hurt. License to go out and just say, oh, yeah, cool. I wasn't going to last the whole season anyway. Let's break someone's chin.
Yeah. As Marlicia says, it's like in outdoors starting on a yellow.
Yeah.
Every single game. Like, beginning of the game, you've got a yellow, so anything you do can be a red. And that is a fact. It's a very, very difficult situation. And because you've let players with this edge continue to be in the league while you're trying to move away from that, and that's the distinction I want to make. You could say, we want a rough and tumble physical league. We want 2 fights a year in the league, whatever. I'm not saying that anyone wants that, but look, lacrosse is happy to throw, a video of their guys getting in a scrap into their sizzle reel. Like, hey, come to the game. You might see a fight, almost old school hockey. Hockey used to be a thing, and then they've gradually weaned it out even down to the A, but still you'll still have some fights down in the A, and in lower levels, you're going to see a fight every game because that's part of the game. MASL, they've, tried to completely move away from that. So what is it? What is it for these guys? Are they just anachronisms within the game? Are they, because I don't think, I think they've committed incredibly stupid mistakes over the course of their careers.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I also think that both of them play at an effective level because they do things that are important to winning in the game. And part of that is to be physically dominant in critical moments. So again, it would be easy enough to say, just back it off, get to the yellow, but not to the red. But either it's unfair to them or Derek gets to say, I get to go out in style. Whose leg do I want to break?
Yeah.
What real damage do I want to do along the way? At which point it's like criminal. Why would you let him back on the field? So it's just difficult. I can't help but say again, I feel like they both did too much and not enough in the same motion because it's these two guys. It's specifically these two guys, and it's just over and over year after year. So if you keep them in the league next year, it's going to happen again. So what does that mean? If they stay clean the whole year and the next year, the next red card, what is that? Is that just, that's cool? You get one a year, you get one big talking to a year. Like, what is it? Or are you trying to clear it out of the game? Pick a lane. Because right now they pick the middle lane, and it's pretty tough. You can't get off on either way.
Yeah, it's a half measure either way, and it just wasn't executed correctly at all. Because, in the competition aspect too, yes, it affects the individual, but you're also affecting the team. Why are you going to throw a defender that already has a second guess in his mind? And if it's not a second guess, yeah, he's going to go out and do what he's going to do, and that's just going to cost you a player on the field. It's going to be a red card. It's going to be a yellow card. It's going to be a blue card. It's going to be a situation that you're going to have to face. So on a competition aspect, in terms of the sanctity of the game, which is what is the appearance that the league wants to do and keep, hey, let's keep things clean, keep things above the belt. Great. But if you don't, everybody should be on the same plane of, if you don't, this is going to happen. Not, hey, you and you, because you've kind of, already shown this and it rubbed off. Is it a timing thing? Like, I want to see, we're never going to see it. Like, hey, after 9 month, a 9 month a period when you've gone through all this, or does it just reset season to season? We're just going to forget. Last year, nothing happened. You're just a new player, brand new player. You come in and, you commit all the atrocities you want on the field and on the floor, get all the cards on and off the field, and just and put a stain on the game and the league, right? One of the biggest numbers that MASL saw last year was from a clip from John Boy Media breaking down a fight and an altercation. That's not good for the league.
Right. And Mijatovic was the villain of that clip. So you keep dancing with the same guys, you're going to keep getting it. And yeah, they're both on the same, they're on opposite sides of this heated rivalry. It is what it is. I think we've said enough. Yeah. I'm not against either player per se. Because I'm a commentator in the league, I feel like I've had bad things to say about Derek Huffman because I comment on this show when he does bad things in the league and commits overly physical fouls and throws someone in or screams in the face of a wife, an elderly woman in the front row of the stands after he scores a goal, like literally airing into a lady's face, like stuff like that, which I saw in person at Pechanga Arena. I call him out on that. I feel like all the time when we play Milwaukee, or when I call a Milwaukee game, call attention to how effective he is and how he's a smart player, how he makes really intelligent decisions out there, how he makes very calm decisions under pressure. And then he just snaps. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, he'll be like, calm, snap. And so it means he wasn't calm at any point in that. He was just portraying calmness, while it was inside, because it was just waiting to come to the surface. Mijatovic gets emotional, and when he does, he makes plays that would be called dirty in the league. Jumping on our bench, that was wild.
You can't do that. You just can't do that. Like in elementary school, when you're learning the game, that's one of the things that you don't have to teach the kids. Like, hey, don't go into that. That's their little sacred area. Like, don't do that. But
he's a good player that winds up on winning teams, like year after year after year. He winds up as a player on a winning team, and like Utica had him, and they were better than when he left. He left and their defense got worse, and Kansas City brought him back for a reason. They brought him back for a reason. It's because he makes their defense better and he makes their team tougher. So, I really feel like I see both sides of this. But those two guys in particular, like, it's like strike 6 or something, along the way. Like, how many strikes are there? If you're going to do the zero tolerance, okay, let's see. Lastly, just looking ahead, this weekend, we'll see 4 games before the holiday. Baltimore continues to play on the road. They will be in Milwaukee. That's the Wave home opener. So that should be a very interesting one to watch on Friday afternoon out here on the West Coast. The Strikers play at home Friday night against St. Louis and then fly to play Tacoma. And Tacoma has the lying in wait advantage. They will be waiting for them. No game for them on Friday. On Saturday, they will host the Strikers. So Tacoma's got to be sitting here going, we got a shot to go 3-0, 9 points, and really be in control of the table 1/8 of the way through.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of where nobody expects them to be at all, and to be on that winning side and on the positive side of the table this early on can definitely build momentum and confidence into the player and say, hey, we're just going to go on a run and see where this happens and take some games early on and cruise the middle through the middle into the end and still make playoffs.
Yeah. So, very, very interesting how that's laid out early. Great news for Tacoma. And then the last game before the holiday, St. Louis, after playing on the West Coast, will fly home on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. They will host the Kansas City Comets, who will play their 7th game of the season before Christmas.
Just front loading them.
Seriously. I mean, they're going to play all these games early, and then they must have a period where they play very little because they're going to play us 5 times down the stretch. Like the end schedule is super backloaded with us, including like a back-to-back along the way, but they've already played 2 back-to-backs. Like it's crazy. So at some point, Kansas City is going to be off for 3 weeks, for 2 or 3 weeks, but nonetheless, they're stacking up the games, and that's where it sits. Now, we will not do a show next week because this time next week is Christmas Eve. So, it's kind of a difficult situation that you and I will just have to figure out offline, Tony, for the week after, because the Sockers will have played at home on the 30th, and then we would normally for sure be doing a show the next night, but that's New Year's Eve. Now, my New Year's Eve plans are to stay home. I don't know about you, but we can talk about that later. It's so there's a chance that we don't do one again until after the game, the January 3rd match as well, but we will definitely not do a show next week with no games being played. No game for San Diego, and stockings being hung by the chimney with care. No time, at least somewhere in our listening audience. So that's the situation. After the holiday, there will be some games that weekend. The Blast hosting the Wave, the Comets playing their 8th game hosting St. Louis, and also Utica hosting the Wave. And then we'll be back December 30th taking on the Tacoma Stars. And the Sockers better not overlook Tacoma, and Tacoma being potentially 3-0 at that point should put them front and center on San Diego's radar. Looking forward, that day, Tuesday, December 30th, it's Hat Night, 7 o'clock kickoff, and all-fan giveaway. All-fan giveaway of that nifty hat.
That's one of the ones that I've been circling. I'm like, this is a really cool hat. I'm down for some good giveaways, and this is one where I'm like, wow, Sockers, all right. Like, I'm really impressed that we're gonna give good quality hats. I'll rock that any day. You'll see me in the next episode with it, probably.
Yeah, I mean, is that? I have so many questions. The little rope, that's amazing. It's kind of golf style. Is that stitched in the Sockers shield on the side? I want to know all these things. That's going to be a really, really cool giveaway. That's going to be one to watch.
Maybe they got some inspiration from
exactly.
Yeah, it is a little rope.
The little rope. You got to like that rope. And then that's 2 games in a week for San Diego, because that Saturday, the Sockers will host the Empire Strikers. Hey, let's knock out our 3rd of 6 against Empire. We get Empire a lot early, and that's going to be a really, really big game. Promotion way, it is a car flag giveaway. It's military night. There is a ticket plus package, a special ticket package, which will get you a Sockers themed cooler, which looks quite nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I have it on very good measure that Frontera SD is coming out in force for this match. It's going to be Frontera SD night. It won't just be the Brujos. The call has gone out to Barra, to Dago boys to locals to Riptides. Yeah, there you go with the Soccer's Cooler and the car flag giveaway. Do people still do the car flags?
I've
I
seen
guess
a couple of
like Raider fans do. Does anyone else?
I'm never going to say Raider fans didn't deserve that, but that's great.
Just like, I mean, I've seen it with Raider fans, like for sure. I've seen flutter, like that sound just drives me crazy when I just hear that consistent fluttering. But please enjoy, please enjoy. But that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a big one on January 3rd, as we're going to see the full power of Frontera SD ready to be unleashed. And I hope a lot of people become converts, because that's the one thing we don't have right now. There's plenty of North County Dago boys and Barra 18 that could totally be a part of the Brujos and double their size like overnight, honestly. But I just want to shout out Victor and Lalo and all of our North County captains from Chavos that have become the heart of the Brujos and are really driving our North County presence at Front Wave Arena. And big shout out to everybody who makes the drive up, from South Bay or East County or from wherever to come see our games.
Yeah, come on, man. People are enjoying it. Like, again, and come early to watch a Super Soccer show.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Been great.
Mary Beth sent me something today, and we're getting it. I hope she's already ordered it, because if she has, we're going to use it at the next game. But it's great. It's great. It's one of these ones that we're going to use it, and then we're going to definitely use it again because it's so silly and it's so perfect for us.
Oh man.
So really excited for future Super Soccer shows. Looks like the cast will be changing if Felipe is leaving. Felipe, our current points leader, on Super Soccer's. Nathaniel can see his path now. Quentin's got to get healthy. We got to get him ready. But yeah, that'll be happening before every game, half hour before every game, and also still happening half hour before every game. When our Soccers complete their warm-ups, they go to the wall. They don't go to their locker room. They go to the wall. Both sides of the arena, both teams do it, signing autographs. So make sure you get there early. I'll just say it one more time in this last minute of the show. Make sure you get there early. If it's a 7 o'clock game, plan on getting there at 6. Plan on getting there to get in at 6:10, 6:15. If you've got kids, bring them in early. We could be picking them to be stars of the pregame show. People who get featured down on the floor in the Super Soccer show and get a chance to play right alongside the players. So, and when I say play, I don't mean soccer. I mean really silly games. But nonetheless, check it out. Please do, because the one thing I will say in the final minute of the show is that for the great crowd they had a great crowd. They do a great job up at Toyota Arena. Their pregame show was nothing. The people came out and then they announced the teams. And the one new wrinkle they had was either pre-recorded or artificial intelligence DJ that like 6 times a quarter would just be like, "Striker fans, I can't hear you," and then they would pipe in crowd noise. They would literally pipe in crowd noise.
Oh no!
Over the crowd, the actual crowd. They were trying to prompt the crowd, but they were also like, "We're going to cover our bases and just fire crowd noise into the arena." So I'm really happy with what we're doing. I'd much rather have the organic sound of the drums and of fans powering our energy as opposed to an AI DJ saying it's striker time and doesn't even say time. It just says time, and then it just fades into. And I'm like, that's when I was like, it's AI. What you would say at least time if you were a human. Time. Exactly.
We're doing things right here. It's good. It's good to know that. And you got a little, at least we're not them up there situation.
Empire's doing a lot of great things, and they got a really good team.
Yes.
Not trying to dog them. I'm just saying I'm really proud of what we're doing pregame, and what we're trying to do is give you a reason to be there before the game and give you a reason to come out and make it a family event and do it before the game and bring your friends and bring your grandma and bring your kids. And that's the thing.
Can you imagine the Super Soccer Show with grandmas? I'm sorry, you just said grandma. I'm just like, oh my God.
I'd love to have some grandmas. I'd like to have a grandma dance off. I'd love to have that.
Yes.
I would sign up for that for the next game if we could just get 2 grandmas.
Bring your grandmas, guys.
Yeah. There's been music during gameplay for like 40 years, including almost every single soccer's game in history. And there may be at the next game too. But when the Brujos chant and they get it going, there isn't. And they are working harder and harder every time to have that coordination. And if they can be completely 100% perfect on point, then I'm going to be pushing very hard for the DJs to just lay out completely during gameplay. But that's where we are, and that's where we're going to keep moving, refining the product, making it better and better every week to try and get us across home plate. All right, that's it. And every week we're happy to have you here. Every week we're happy to have you here and to have your comments as well. Tony, let everybody know what's going on down the stretch here. SanDiego.Futbol. Not too long before you're going to have to turn over the calendar and then do the exact same thing the next week. But tell us about the plans.
Absolutely. You can find everything that we do at SanDiego.Futbol, SanDiego_Futbol. Look up. I've tried SanDiego.Futbol. We come up. Not San Diego FC. It's pretty cool. Depends on your algorithm. But check us out. SanDiego.Futbol for everything that we do. San Diego FC, San Diego Wave starting to come back. So we got some news there. Check it out.
It's true. You got a new Scottish forward for San Diego FC. You've lost Lundqvist for San Diego Wave.
Hana.
See you later. But nonetheless, lots of stuff to talk about. In fact, tomorrow night, Tony and I will be back with our friend Alex Pena for our final episode of the Cromaniacs of the season, where we will talk about Lewis Morgan and anything else that we feel, and probably some year-end tie it up, blah, 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 that everybody does. I would say give out awards, give out the Chromies, but you guys, I think, are already doing awards. So,
yeah. Voting closed, actually. So we'll see. You may have one, Craig. I need to go check the votes.
Sure. I might have one. You're right. And until you check the votes, you can say that.
Correct.
Once you've checked the votes, you will no longer be able to say that I might have won, because I will then have not won definitively.
I just looked at it, so I'll stay quiet.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Nonetheless, that's it for now. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season, a great Christmas. The same to you, my dear friend. And we will take next week off, but we will be back in a couple of weeks with more Soccer's Overtime. And until then, happy holidays and go Sockers!